First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for participating and sticking it out throughout the day. This has been a long day. There's been a lot of information and discussion that's been brought forward. Clearly, our panels that we talked about, can we dig ourselves out of what's coming, dredging, beneficial reuse, and Measure AA, planning for the probabilities, preparing for a sustainable waterfront, bay waterfront, and then the third one, everything is rising infrastructure for a changing bay. There's a theme here. Our speakers, our panelists, our moderators did a phenomenal job, and we're not going to stop here. We started some things new, unlike in the past, our activities. We had our call to action. We're going to follow up on those call to actions. We had the clicking that we're doing. That was it sort of fun, but actually we're going to put that together in a poll to help us develop a strategic plan. And also from a standpoint when we report this out, this is what the community, the thinkers in this community are concerned about or have issues with. We need to get you involved with Bay Planning Coalition if you're not, but if you are, we have committees, and those committees address some of the issues that we talked about today, and we'd love to get you involved in that so we can delve further into it. We have workshops and briefings throughout the year. We have, I think, 4 workshops coming up and 1 briefing. That's still going to be dealing with it, and that actually goes deeper into the weeds than what we talked about today. And so those will be important for you to participate and be involved with. Clearly, the actions. We live in a bubble, folks. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area. This is not Omaha. But even outside the Bay Area, it is still a bubble. Even within the Bay Area, it is still a bubble. We are the people who deal with these issues, who read about them, we practice them, we try and resolve them. But a lot of people are not involved. And we talked about Measure AA coming on the ballot. That's going to require 2/3 of a vote on June 7th. That's not going to be an easy challenge, quite frankly. We have a lot of people who do not believe, 1, there's climate change, 2, that there's an issue because they don't see it, and the fact is they distrust a lot of what government is talking about and scientists and officials and that so on, and from that perspective. So we're going to have to deal with regulatory issues, trying to resolve these. We're going to have to deal with funding issues, trying to resolve these. Is there going to be more funding coming from the federal government? Probably not in the near future. The state government, who knows, but one thing that we're actually looking at, and our legislative committee under the leadership of Walt Gill and our executive committee approved, we are going to be approaching a member of the state legislature to sponsor a bill to do dredging and beneficial reuse, to actually have funding from the state government to help fund dredging and beneficial reuse. California does 0 in that category, where most coastal states are involved to some degree. We have the issue of trying to work together. I think it was David Williams who said collaboration, sort of in jest, was a bad word. We have the local governance versus regional governance, the economic and environmental impacts, and we have a lot of work before us. Diana from San Francisco talked about this being a daunting challenge. It's more than a daunting challenge, and the fact is our children and their children are going to live with what we do or don't do in the very near future. We can't wait much longer. It's happening, and it's happening at a faster pace than it was ever anticipated to happen, and the fact is we have to get involved. Bay Planning Coalition is the only organization that brings in together the business leaders, the environmental side, the regulators to talk about all these issues, and that's why we need to have you more involved and participating. Now, you don't want me to draw on, and I don't really feel like drawing on and on, because I'm waiting between not only this bottle of champagne, but the bar across the street. And I understand how that works. So we have all the name tags here. I'm going to choose 3 name tags, 1 out of each box, then I won't look at the name, and then I'll choose one of the 3 to determine who gets it. Now, if that person's not here, the next name I'll draw out and see who it is. John Coleman, no. Alex Evans, sitting right up in front. And he is a government official, so he doesn't have to declare this. It's under $100. Again, with sponsors, we couldn't have done it without the sponsors. I'd like the volunteers who are here to please stand up to be acknowledged. They're probably out still doing something. Thank you so much. And we have finally a full staff at Bay Planning Coalition. I think Betty Kwan, glasses on it, standing in the doorway right back there. Jack Fischetti right back there at the computer, and Brianne Riley right up here. Get involved with what we're doing. Make a difference, because we need your input, we need your intelligence, and we need to make a difference. Thank you so much and have a great weekend.